Greetings, guys, and welcome back to another episode of What's Going On. I'm your hostess, Fancy. I'm the editor in chief of Swagger Magazine, as well as the publisher. So today I'm speaking with Miss Chantell. I said it so nicely a minute ago.
Mattier.
Mattier. I apologize because in my head I
No
keep
problem.
saying something else. Chantell Mattier. And Chantell, I always let the guests kind of tell everyone who they are. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm just a girl following her purpose, basically. I own Med Spa. I'm a medical esthetician by trade. I own a medical spa and pigmentation studio in Miami, Florida. I've been owning it for about mm, 4 years now. We're expanding, so we just moved not too long ago. But it's the name of it's Think Inc. Micro-Esthetics. So we're part medical aesthetics and part pigmentation studio, and I partner with my husband. So that's a little bit about me or what we are.
That's really cool. And so a lot of people aren't comfortable with that first question, but it helps kind of to break the ice because who knows you better than you. So what was it that that attracted you to skincare or the I call it skincare, but it probably I know it's deeper than that. But what was it that inspired you to go into this field?
Well, in essence, it is skincare in general. That's the umbrella. But to tell you the truth, it was me myself. I was in the United States Air Force for a time. I retired in 2014, and that's when I noticed after the hats and the boots and the uniform, I started to look at myself a little bit closer, and I started to notice a lot of discoloration, UV damage, is damage from the sun. And I said, okay, I need to seek some help. So I went to a dermatologist, and the dermatologist is like a lot of dermatologists. You get like 15 minutes of their time. They come in for 5 minutes, and but his technician, his assistant, was going to school for aesthetics. This was in Virginia, and I was like, she was like, come back for a facial. So she really helped me a lot. She did some procedures, and I just started to get interested. I'm like, where did you go to school at? And stuff like that. So I ended up going to the school that she graduated from, and that was in 2014. And it just took off from there. It was just like second nature, because in the military I was of service, and it was just destined for me. That was my purpose. My passion was to be of service, specifically for women of all cultures, all ages. That's what I do. That's what started it all.
Wow. And I always say, like, I think some of the best businesses are those that are started by individuals that actually had a problem themselves and then found a solution.
Exactly.
So the fact
Hmm.
that because you know it firsthand, you know exactly what the other people are going through. And actually, I'm kind of shocked though because you mentioned the pigmentation aspect. I'm not as familiar with that. I was kind of thinking you were more so going to say like you had a problem with acne. I've talked to a lot of different business owners, and their problem was acne, and so that's kind of what led them into the field there. But yours was pigmentation. So is that and I'm just curious now because you mentioned the fact that you also service, people of all races. Is pigmentation though do like people of other races also have issues with that? That's kind of a
Yes,
maybe.
definitely. The sun affects everybody. Maybe a little bit different, but it affects all cultures, all skin types, all skin colors.
Mhm.
And a lot of us, like myself, I just didn't grow up knowing to wear sunscreen.
Mhm.
A lot of people who are already pigment sometimes grow up under the assumption that sunscreen is an option, maybe when we go to the beach or something like that. But actually, it is not. Okay, so the sun is the number one thing that ages you. It's the number one thing more than smoking, crack, cocaine, whatever you want to say. Sun ages you the fastest. Okay, so sun, it is basically hyperpigmentation. You get the sun freckles, you get the sun spots, and it tends to not be seen until you're in your late 20s and 30s because it kind of is an accumulation of. So,
Mm.
when we're 19, 18, we're like, whatever, I don't see any difference. But then when we turn like 30, we start seeing some things. And that's what happened to me after being parades and stuff in the military. All of a sudden, I find I have this big band across that was so much darker than the rest of my face. So hyperpigmentation basically comes in three forms. It comes in, redness from irritation from products or whatever. It comes in browns, which is hyperpigmentation, and then sometimes it'll come in yellowing, like glycation from aging. So that's all discoloration. That's all from several forms. But the sun and wearing sunscreen is probably 70% of the clients that I see, along with acne.
Well, okay, and that was gonna
And
be my next question.
no respective person, everybody, men, women, um, all colors, all cultures.
Okay. And so as of right now, we know that your service or well, you provide services for those who deal with hyperpigmentation as well as acne. And then do you provide other services as well, or is there any other issues that people may come to you for?
Usually, well, I people come to me for what is specifically I specialize in, and that's basically acne, aging or age prevention, and discoloration of all those three forms that I was talking about.
Gotcha.
That's 90% of my clients, my client base. But then I do also do rejuvenation and just a lot of first time facial people like to come to me, take it easy, it's my first time. And that's cool. But most of the patients that come to me, they're on their last leg. They've tried everything. They went to the derm. They did everything, and they're like, "Okay, you're my last resort. Help me, please."
Wow. And you must be pretty good at it. I mean, you have the title Skin Maven. I see that they also call you what is it, acneologist. So you're so the word is out there that you're good, apparently. And so do you ever have any clients because you're in the Miami area, right?
Yes.
And do you ever have any clients that come from out of state, just out of curiosity, or
Oh yes, yes. I have people who come from New Jersey, other parts of Florida. I've had a person come from Boston. Those people are usually ones that has been suffering really tragically with acne, and they're like, it's affecting who they are. It's
Mhm.
affecting their lifestyle. It's affecting um, just life in general. So when you get to that point, you're like, I will fly to whatever. I will do whatever. And people of color tend to want another person of color to help them with their situations. Okay. And I know that. So I welcome it. And they come from all parts of the United States. I haven't got any. Oh, I did. I did get a couple from Europe, but that was by way of virtual because I do virtual consultation and virtual skin things too.
Okay, that was actually going to be my next question as we were
Yes.
talking about that. Okay. And so I know that as you just said, like for those that are having serious problems, they're willing to travel. But I know that you also work with the youth, like the teenagers. I'm thinking in particular more so like the younger girls, but I know boys also have acne as well. But I know that you're passionate about that. Can you tell us more about that and why you're so passionate and what acne is for youth? Because I know it's not, for us it might just be an outbreak, we going about our day, but that can be totally different with them.
Yes, yes. Acne and teenagers and mental health has become a real problem nationwide. Okay. I see it in the clinic. They come into me and especially young girls. Boys, they're not as critical on each other in high school and grade school. They're doing sports, they get the camaraderie. Boys are not so critical. Girls, on the other hand, is very critical and can be very mean. So, my young girls who are suffering with severe acne, with that complex acne that is not just something that you buy off Instagram because one of the influencers was talking about it, you can just rub it on and it goes away. These girls are being affected. They're being depressed. They're having suicidal ideology, even attempts of suicide. And for me, that's just where I cross the line. So I'm doing some actual outreach for teenagers and teenagers suffering with acne that is affecting their mental health. Okay. And this has been studied. This is not just something that people talk about to me, although I have parents. The kids that do come in, they're between the ages of 13 and 19. 18, 19, they'll come in on their own. But a lot of my young grade school to early high schoolers, they come
Mhm.
in with their moms. And so I talk to them. I talk to them. And there's nothing like clearing acne in that frame, in that 13 and 19, because this is a very pivotal point in their life. They want to be accepted, you know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
trying to figure out their space in society, in their community, who they want to be. So when you put something like acne in it, it can be very disruptive to the way they grow up. So when they come in, they're usually, down, not their self-confidence is very low. A lot of times they won't even look me in the eye. Okay. But then it's that the appointments come, their smiles starting to get a little brighter. They're looking at me right in my eye. They know that I'm for them. That we're a team, and I just love seeing that results, and that's why I do it. And it's a sense of community, because we all, although I don't have children myself, the community's children is my children, you know, and so when it gets to a point that it's starting to affect our youth, they're the future. So we need to do is something about it as a community, as adults, as leaders, because they're the future leaders. I mean, we
Right.
have
And
to help them out.
I love the fact that you're so passionate about this because a lot of people just kind of look at it like, oh, it's acne, they'll be okay. Not really
Mm-mm.
taking into consideration how serious it can be for them. I know even I have a 18-year-old and 16-year-old, and especially with my 18-year-old, if she has an outbreak, it's just like it's the end of the world. Like she doesn't want to, she'll go to school, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
like I don't want to be seen today. I don't feel pretty, and those sort of things really can affect our children's confidence, like you said. So I think it is a very, I, I think, when I was in school, it would have gone overlooked. So I'm glad that you're doing something about it now, as well as I'm certain there's probably some other people out there as well. But just to be able to meet one that's like, hey, this is a serious subject matter because this really affects the teenagers' confidence and their mental state, then I applaud you for that because
thank you.
that's taking it a step further. We're oftentimes talking about mental health, but we're not even totally looking at all those different situations that can bring on those mental health issues, and this is very well one of them because how we look affects how we feel and how we think about ourselves.
Definitely.
I totally get that. And so
Thank
now,
you. And I just wanted to add that a lot of times people that can, the adults that can make change, we didn't grow up in a society. This society has so much access, you know. Our teenagers are growing up with just easy access to each other through social media, through the Twitter, through the IG. And so the cyberbullying, I mean, maybe we had a little bit of bullying when we grew up, but now it's to the 10th power. You're getting all these people to 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 gang up on you and that you don't even know. It's not
right.
even from your school, and they're posting videos and they're giving them names and mantras. So it can be very, very disruptive to a teenager. And it's very different from what we grew up with. Very different.
Wow. And so I know earlier you also mentioned that you all are expanding. So can you tell us more about
Yay.
that as well?
So it's been a long time coming. It's so funny because I was just talking to my husband about this. We've only been an actual corporation, like an actual business for about 3.5 years. Because I was an esthetician, but I was working for other people. And then I was like, I'm going to work out of my house. You know how that is. You're trying to do your little thing. And then my husband was like, hey, let's do this. Let's get it incorporated or whatever. So we started off as an LLC. We got our little suite. And what happened? 4 months later, COVID. COVID. And I was like, oh my God, what we're going to do now? But we were able to survive. And 6 months after that, we got into a clinic under a medical director. And then I was like, you know what? We can do this ourselves. So about a month ago, we opened up our very own medical spa with my very own medical director. We are offering not only just medical facials and scalp macro pigmentation, but we also are adding laser hair removal and some other things, massage therapy, even post-surgery massage therapy. And so we're looking to expand. We're in this building now and I have space. So I'm looking to hire some of my community, my skilled community professionals out there. I'm very excited about that. And also, we're going to be expanding our training because I want to give back to my community professionals, my estheticians, my medical estheticians who DM me all the time, like, how are you getting these results? What are you doing? you know, they're always in my DMs. I'm like, okay, had some things online, but now we're going to be expanding so I can take classes. And then also the total outreach. I'm doing a micro outreach for my teenagers, specifically my young male and female teenagers who are, like we were just talking about, suffering
Mhm.
from acne. And my husband, who is a scalp micropigmentation artist, which is the scalp tattoo, is the root simulation for people who are losing hair. We're going to be doing outreach for people with alopecia. So that's what's happening and expanding. We're very excited about it. And we're very happy to be getting more out into the community because we're all about community.
Wow. Well, congratulations. And guys, so Chantell is going to be coming back on with us a few more times. And so we'll be able to dive deeper into those subjects, a lot of those things that she mentioned, especially those services. I know I don't have a problem with alopecia, but the scalp pigmentation just is, I'm still trying to understand how that works. So I'm really interested in when we have a
Oh,
conversation
yeah.
about
Because
it.
you're getting very popular.
Yeah. So is there, well, also, and I added the banner at the bottom, guys, since she said that she is hiring, so you all can check out her website as well as her Instagram. But is there a certain place you want for them to go, Chantell, if they're,
No, we can start off right there, and I'm specifically going to be hiring a receptionist. And I love young people, so young people, don't be discouraged. A receptionist, a laser hair removal technician who is licensed in the state of Florida, and a massage therapist.
Okay. So look, that's 3 job openings right there for you guys. So y'all can share that with some friends, especially if you're in the Florida, Miami area, and let them know.
Yes.
And is there anything else you would like to include before we wrap up?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm loving what you're doing with Swag Her magazine. I'm so happy that I was had a chance to spend this time with you today, and I'm so happy and looking forward to coming back again soon.
Thank you, and you look beautiful in that yellow too. I've been looking
Thank
at
you.
it's the yellow that's really making her pop.
I love yellow.
Yeah, me too. I do too. So thank you so much, Chantell. And guys, you all can check her out again at thinkinkmicro.com as well as on Instagram at SkynMayvenne. The spelling for SkynMayvenne is SkynMayvenne. So just to be on the safe side, so you all can find her, as well as you all can you'll be seeing some ads and things like that being ran by us. So you all can always check those out too to be directed directly to her. But thank you, Chantell, for taking the time out to speak to me. Wait, I see somebody said is the job remote receptionist. You got to be in person for that one, huh?
No, I already have a virtual receptionist, not receptionist, scheduler. This one has to be in the building remote. I need someone that's present at least 4 times a week, 4 days a week.
Got you. Okay. So sorry about that, Cassandra, but if you know of anybody, let them know. Well, all right then, guys. So we're gonna go ahead on and close out. And peace and blessings. You all have a great day.
Bye bye, guys.